Radio Sports Network is powered statewide by the insurance adjusters at Brown O'Haver. Fire, wind, theft, or tornado, we can help. Call 405-735-5510. It's time for the Steelman and Thune at noon with Mike Steely and Parker Thune. Hit the guys up on the Riverwind Casino calling line at 405-329-9000. Text the show on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439. Live from the Buffalo Wild Wings studios, here's Mike Steely and Parker Thune.
Welcome in, everybody. It is a Wednesday edition of Steelman and Thune. Parker is back in the Buffalo Wild Wings studios, and I am right here inside the friendly confines of Shea Stadium today, sitting right here in my streaming room, feeling good, although I do think there is, again, an effort that is happening right now to get the old man out of the radio station, because I talked to our buddy Chris Plank this morning and kind of checked in with him, hey, you're staying home, what's the deal? And he had his, he had his own equipment, own studio, and the word was Plank was doing it from home today and everything. So I got around to doing all my radio prep and getting ready for the show like I normally do. And I jump out of the shower around 10:15 or so, and I hear Plank's in studio. Clearly, Parker Thune, another effort to make the old man look wimpy. Well, Steely was the only guy who really couldn't get in today. Another reason why we need to get rid of this guy. There is a conspiracy afloat, ladies and gentlemen. Plank, I think Plank sold me out today. I can't believe he would do that to me. Now, he did say, well, my girls were home and everything. It was kind of crazy around there, so I wanted to get out of there. But the man drove all the way. Is he in Goldsby? Car, which looks like it's been, buried under ice for 20 years or something. So, anyway, I'm the wimp today. That's fine. I'll play the role. OU basketball. Not that you expected they were going to beat Florida last night. Florida led by 22 at halftime. Jeremiah Fears, I thought, had a good game. He came out, scored 22 points. But Oklahoma, again, you felt like, all right, halftime, ball game. Florida's going to win. They made 9 threes in the first half. The Sooners, at least, if you're looking for some positive in the game last night, they did play 39 apiece with Florida in the second half. Now, the Gators substituted. It seemed like with 5 minutes left or so, there were a lot of scrubs in there. But so the Sooners, again, we talked about the LSU game more than likely being the nail in the coffin for Oklahoma's tournament chances. Now, if you look at bracketology and some of the other, services out there that project the field, Oklahoma's still hanging on barely. But, Parker, they're done. I mean, I think we knew that before last night. But such a frustrating time for Sooner basketball fans right now, because you look at, again, earlier in the season, in the Bahamas, you beat Arizona, second currently in the Big 12, number 19 in the country. You beat Louisville, second currently behind Duke in the ACC. Number 22 in the country. You beat Michigan in the Jumpman Classic, right? Michigan leading the Big Ten, number 12 in the country. And Sooner fans, they'd kind of seen this movie before, but you also thought these were some pretty good teams that Oklahoma was able to beat. It took a great shot by Fears to take down Michigan in the Jumpman Classic, but Oklahoma fans maybe were feeling like, well, maybe this is the year that we can get it done in conference and get that tournament bid. But now 5-game losing streak, and the average loss margin in this 5-game losing streak right under 20 points a game. So just a depressing state for Oklahoma men's basketball.
And they just didn't look good. They didn't look like a good basketball team last night, Steely. And I think, that's a very obvious takeaway. Right? Nothing that requires terribly in-depth analysis, but Florida was just out and out more talented than Oklahoma last night. It was very clear that Oklahoma does not have a tournament caliber team as far as the talent is concerned. That doesn't mean they don't get to the tournament, although at this point the odds of them doing so are very, very slim. But just watching them play one of the top teams in the country last night against Florida, it was very clear that there's an obvious chasm between where Florida's at and where Oklahoma's at.
Yeah.
And it's a
Big
pretty
time.
wide chasm. Now, I will read you a tweet from a Twitter account called Made for March. I retweeted this earlier this morning when I saw it. It's pretty glaring and pretty damning. Porter Moser at Oklahoma has a 93% winning percentage in the month of November. In December, he wins at a 78% clip. In January, he wins at a 38% clip. And in February, he wins at a 29% clip. There's only one common denominator throughout Porter Moser's 4 seasons at the University of Oklahoma, Steely, and it is Porter Moser. So when you have a trend that is replicated every single year, and that you start out hot in November, and then by February, the wheels have all the way come off the wagon, who do you point the finger at but the head coach?
I mean, he's responsible for it, right? I mean, it's Porter Moser, and you can talk about Arena, you can talk about a lack of NIL, all this stuff. Brandon Garrison, maybe they could have bid more and had Brandon Garrison. Not that he's tearing it up this year anyway, but it's all, Porter. Most of his post-game sound bites I hear, press conferences or, the conversations with Toby or Kevin Henry afterwards, he says, that's on me. So he knows that. And is there any way, by the way, doesn't it seem like, 2021, the last time the Sooners were in the tournament? They beat Missouri by 4, I believe it was, in the first round. Then they got beat by that Gonzaga team with Drew Timme and Corey Kispert and Jalen Suggs, and Andrew Nimhard was on that team, I believe. But, man, this is going to be another time where the Sooners, again, are not going to be making the NCAA tournament, and that is well below the standard of Oklahoma basketball. It's ridiculous. Oklahoma, again, they're not a basketball blue blood. They're probably in a solid group of Tier 2 teams that are really close. They're really not close to, Duke and Carolina, Kentucky and Kansas, Indiana, UCLA, whatever you think the blue bloods are. But, again, we've said this time and time again, when you talk about schools that haven't won a national championship in basketball, Oklahoma's probably at the top of the list. They trail only Kentucky in Final Fours made, right? I know Florida got some back-to-back championships when Billy Donovan was there with Corey Brewer and Al Horford and Joakim Noah. But Oklahoma is so much better than this. So much better than this, and it's extremely frustrating right now. So is there any chance with the buyout, which we think right now is around $7 million for Porter, that because of what's going on in the athletic department, that they would actually bring Porter Moser back because they couldn't afford the buyout? I'm just asking. Now, you can string it. There are many ways. You can pay that buyout over, sometimes they're negotiated down. Sometimes they pay it out over 3, maybe 4 years. I don't know. What is the percentage chance that happens?
I think
5%, 10%?
I think at this point, if you bring Porter Moser back, you are demonstrating that you're incredibly out of touch with your own fan base, which is the primary reason I think there's just a slim to 0% chance that he returns next year. Because nobody wants to watch this product for a 5th straight season, Steely. The fans want change. That is glaringly obvious at this point. That is not just the consensus sentiment. That feels like a darn near unanimous sentiment among OU fans.
I'd be shocked. Don't get me wrong. I'd be shocked. I'm just saying, is there any possibility at all?
I mean, there's always a possibility.
Yeah.
That nothing is a certainty, but I think it is a virtual certainty that Oklahoma has a new basketball coach next year because, again, you just can't get the fan base excited about the product come the 2025-26 season if you do not have a new head coach running the show.
I'm with you. All right, so Florida wins 83-63 last night. The Sooners' next game is against Mississippi State, the number 21 team in the country. That'll be at noon Saturday at the LNC on the SEC Network. Mississippi State beat A&M in Starkville last night pretty handily by 16, so Mississippi State, another tough matchup. The only unranked team left on the Sooners' schedule is a game against Texas in Austin to close out the regular season and more than likely the season, obviously. And Oklahoma already lost to Texas at home. So that's what's going on with Sooner basketball. By the way, even though I'm home, we're representing Caven's Group today. And Caven's Group, we hope you never have to make the call, but a lot of you in a situation like this sometimes have to make the call. Now, if you go to work, let's say you find a broken pipe situation, ends up flooding your business, call Caven's. Make Caven's your first call and get it done as quickly as possible. You're in a race against the clock, particularly if you're a business owner. You want to be up and running as quickly as you can. By calling Caven's fast, when you have a water emergency, it could save your business from being down for weeks or days to not at all. Caven's has the most teams in the business, the best equipped and trained teams in the business, and they're on standby ready to help you during this winter event. If you have a broken pipe flooding your business or your home, call Caven's immediately, 405-573-3048. That's 405-573-3048. Our man Blake is running the YouTube chats, so we'll be hitting that up as well. And just a depressing time. Isn't it depressing right now? I hate to be Mr. Doom and Gloom, but if you're a Sooner, football, basketball fan, and look, I know other sports are doing great. KJ's got a great gymnastics team for the ladies. Mark Williams, they're number one in the country. For the men, I think baseball is going to be pretty solid in a very tough conference with a really talented rotation. You look at what Ryan Hibble's done with the golf team. They're at softball, obviously, number 2 in the country, and we knew they were going to be good because Patty Gasso always puts together a good team, but maybe even better than expected early in the season. But so much of it, is all about football and to an extent men's basketball. But if you're a Sooner fan right now, I haven't seen the fan base this frustrated in a long time, Parker. And all you had to do was see the reactions to the email that Joe Castiglione sent out. It's like, are you kidding me? Read the room and all this stuff. But he still has to try and generate revenue and tell the Sooner fans about the plans on how they're going to, attack NIL and how they're going to use this money that's coming in July, $20.5 million. So you want to keep the fan base informed, but everybody's angry right now. You open up social media, depressing. You look at the Sooner box score for basketball, depressing. So it's just a tough time for Sooner Nation right now.
Well, and it's somewhere in between anger and apathy for a lot of folks, right? There are people who are angry, certainly, and then there are folks who have just been emotionally beaten into apathy to where they don't really care right now about OU athletics. They've quit paying attention. They've quit caring. This is the harsh reality, Steely. There are people, lifelong Oklahoma fans, out there who cannot be bothered to watch OU sports right now because the 2 major programs on campus, football and men's basketball, are struggling mightily in year 1 in the SEC. And obviously, hope springs eternal every single time a new football season rolls around in August, September every single year. But until then, for many Oklahoma fans, not for all of them, but for many of them, there's precious little to get excited about. Yeah, you can count on Patty Gasso and the softball team to win and to dominate. But outside of that, something that a lot of OU fans probably take for granted at this point, what is there to get really legitimately stoked about between now and August?
Yeah, and look, I don't want to dog the other sports at all because they're important, and Patty Gasso's the GOAT. KJ Kindler she's in the GOAT conversation for women's gymnastics. We know that Mark Williams probably is the GOAT as well. Ryan Hibble's won a natty. Skip's doing great with baseball. Jeannie Baranchek's been a fabulous hire. But so much of what's happening is really about college football and Sooner football. And that's why Oklahoma needs to go out and have a good football season. And we're going to talk about that coming up here in a little bit as well. All right, we always want to thank Last Year Home Comfort Systems, 405-579-3113. That's 405-579-3113. We've got people on our YouTube chat. We'll get to you. We've got K-Dub. We've got Steve O'Rolo. We've got James Harris. Jeff, what's up? He wants to ask a recruiting question. We'll get to that coming up in the next segment. We do want to talk about the 2026 class. Parker, of course, recently got back from Under Armour Dallas and has a lot of thoughts. I know that most of those come on locked in, but we'll talk in generalities about that coming up in a little bit as well. So, Cavens Group, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a busted pipe that is not going to be good for your home or business, you need to call Cavens as fast as you can. You want to call the best. They'll get the job done right the first time. Very reasonable with their prices. They're a super professional outfit. They give tons back to the community. They're not the art of town carpetbaggers. They're local. And Gary and his crew, they're just fantastic. 405-573-3048. Online at Cavens Group, C-A-V-I-N-S, cavensgroup.com. Take a break. Let's talk a little Sooner football and more. Plus, we've got you guys on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439. And we've got you pulled up on the YouTube chat as well. Coming right back here in the Ref.
Through the dead of winter, to the dawn of spring, through the dog days of summer, and the kickoff of fall, no one covers Sooner football like we do. The Ref is SEC ready. Are you?
Oklahoma baseball single game tickets are on sale now. Don't miss a packed 31-game home schedule this spring at L. Mitchell Park. Seats start at just $10 per game, with exciting promotions like $2 Tuesdays, Firework Fridays, and Sunday Fun Day for Conference Series. Guaranteed fun for the whole family. Check out the game schedule and more information at Soonersports.com. Join us at the ballpark and Boomer Sooner.
Motorcycle riders face extra dangers on the road because of distracted drivers. Each year, thousands of lives are forever changed by tragic crashes, leaving families to pick up the pieces.
We understand the emotional toll these crashes cause. Insurance companies don't. At McIntyre Law, we're here to level the playing field.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a motorcycle crash, call us at 405-777-7000. We are McIntyre Law, protecting Oklahoma riders one case at a time.
It's time for your certified most accurate forecast from KOCO5 First Alert Weather. Brought to you by Cavens Group. Do you have a water emergency? Give Cavens a call at 405-573-3048.
From the First Alert Weather Center, meteorologist Jonathan Condor with your KOCO5 News weather forecast. Danger cold this morning. Wind chills in the teens below zero. Wind chills will not get above zero today. We're going to see highs only in the lower teens. It will be mostly cloudy this morning with flurries flying by. No new snowfall accumulation, though. North winds at about 20 to 15 miles an hour. Tonight, the winds relax a little bit, but record cold, lows near zero tomorrow morning.
That was your certified most accurate forecast from KOCO5 First Alert Weather, brought to you by Cavens. Did you have a water emergency that you fear might turn into mold? Give Cavens Group a call at 405-573-3048 or visit cavensgroup.com today.
Your dream home is right around the corner, and at Stride Bank, we're here to make it a reality. With competitive rates, personalized service, and streamlined processes, buying your first home or your forever home has never been easier. Let Stride's experienced mortgage team guide you every step of the way, from pre-qualification to closing. With local roots and national reach, Stride Bank is your go-to partner for all your banking needs. Stride Bank, your trusted financial partner since 1913. Find out more at stridebank.com. Stride Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Speaking of technology, did you know that RK Black is an authorized dealer for Kyocera copiers? And the Kyocera copiers aren't just copiers. They're smart devices that can scan, print, fax, and email your documents with ease and security. Even better, they're backed by RK Black's award-winning service team that is built on nearly 70 years of taking great care of our clients. Whether you need a desktop printer or a multifunction copier, RK Black has the right product for you. Let's get the conversation started. Give us a call at 943-9800 or visit us at rkblack.com.
Did the recent storms damage your home and roof? Call All American Roofing today. All American Roofing has been repairing and replacing roofs for over 40 years and is a second-generation locally owned roofing company. They are also a Google guaranteed contractor and offer free inspections. Our roofers are GAF Master Elite contractors with a BBB A+ rating. Call All American Roofing today at 405-787-0400. All American Roofing, the best roofing company in Oklahoma. 405-787-0400.
The all-new Eskridge Honda is here, right in time for the new year. Our new building is awesome, just like these deals. Pay just $259 per month on new 2024 Accords. Come in today to get the best deals all month long. Now conveniently located off I-35 and 89th. Just look for the blue tents on the roof. Online at eskridgehonda.com.
2024 Accord LX $259 per month. 3-year, 10,000-mile lease. $399 plus TTNL and first month's payment due at signing. Ends 2/28/25.
Steelman and Thune Wednesday edition here on the Home of Sooner fans. Hope everybody's being safe out there this weather. Next week it's going to look pretty good, but right now not so good. Just got a official statement from TPO, the Plank organization. I only came in because I found out I had to do a podcast afterwards at OU, and it got canceled as soon as I came in. I'm not coming in tomorrow, LOL. So Plank, that's going to be bad. Oh yeah, I got a podcast, and then he comes in, and it gets canceled as soon as he gets in. Well, Plank, you know how it goes. We live in a cancel culture these days. We live in a cancel culture. All right, 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. And we're on YouTube. Just search KREF Sports. You'll find us there. We'll hit you up in chat there as well. Blake's doing a great job with that, as always, our man Blake Gamble. And also, again, want to thank Gary Cavens. We're representing Cavens today. Usually we'd be out at Cavens, but because of the situation, we're just doing a virtual remote for Gary today. But I will tell you this. If you run into a disaster with a broken pipe that floods your home or business, Cavens, that is the place to call. They're the best in the business. I see all the crews they have that are going out all the time. They've got a great reputation. I see the training these guys and ladies do. They're unbelievable. I know how committed Gary is to doing the very best job in the business. So if you have a busted pipe and you show up in your business like, oh, good, here we go, we got a mini lake here, we got to get rid of this, call Cavens as fast as you can. If you have a water emergency, it could save your business from being down for weeks versus days or not at all. So Cavens, again, they have the most teams. They have the best equipment, the most highly trained teams in the business. They will get you up and running. So just remember this number, 405-573-3048. That is 405-573-3048. The cure-all, Parker Thune, I believe, for this Sooner fan depression would be a really nice bounce-back season for Oklahoma in football, right? You look at what they have next year. Last year we talked about the key game being the Tennessee game. It was kind of be the swing game for Oklahoma. Didn't go the Sooners' way. This year it comes in game 2, that game with Michigan. Because I think if you can beat Michigan, and I'm still a believer you're Oklahoma, you win your home games. I know they didn't do it every time last year. The South Carolina game was a disaster. Obviously the Tennessee game, they were able to get it done, obviously, against Alabama, which was their best performance of the year. But you beat Illinois State. If you could beat Michigan, you go to Philly and beat Temple. You've got Auburn coming in for the SEC opener and then Kent State after that. If you can beat Michigan, you should be able to go, Parker, into that Texas game again 5-0. I'm not saying it's going to be simple to get it done, but I do think that the Sooners, again, you're Oklahoma. You win those games, you go to Dallas 5-0. And if you can win your 7 home games, because the other home games, let's talk about those. You got Illinois State, Michigan, Auburn, Kent State. Then you got Ole Miss. They're going to be good, but they're not going to be as good. And then you have Missouri, again, not going to be as good. LSU coming in to close out the season, and Nussmeier and company, they're going to be pretty solid, I think. But if you can win those 7 home games, and then, of course, you have the Temple game in Philly, then you can get to 8. Could the Sooners do that, Parker? Is it possible?
It's more than possible, Steely. Yeah, I think there's a very realistic path to 8 wins. Now, if you're going to win more than 8 games, and I agree, looking at that schedule, Oklahoma should win minimum 7, probably 8. If you're going to go beyond that, 9, 10, even 11 wins, then you're going to have a pretty special season from John Mateer. John Mateer is going to have to be everything he was cracked up to be and more, and then some. And moreover, you're going to have to get some emergent performances from skill position guys as well. It's not going to be all on Mateer's shoulders. He's going to have weapons that can make him look good, because who was Baker Mayfield? Who would he have been absent guys like Sterling Shepard and Hollywood Brown and CeeDee Lamb? Who would Jalen Hurts have been without the junior year version of CeeDee Lamb that was arguably the best wide receiver in the country, right up there alongside Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, not to mention that loaded backfield that he had. So how the backfield picture shakes out is going to be an interesting thing to monitor, because I do think the room as it stands right now probably loses at least one, if not multiple, running backs to the transfer portal at the end of spring. But who does emerge as Oklahoma's bell cow in that backfield? And if you don't have one clear lead back, who makes up that committee? Because you're not going to have four guys toting the rock on a regular basis. You're probably going to have two, maybe three. But there are four running backs in Oklahoma's room right now that should have a pretty equal case for the starting job throughout spring and fall. So to see how that shakes out will be interesting. But at the wide receiver position, man, I think there's a lot to be excited about, and I think that should increase the level of confidence in the type of year that John Mateer can and will have at the helm of that offense for Oklahoma, because the early returns on Giovanni Gibson have been excellent. Elijah Thomas early on is projecting like a guy who's going to contribute and contribute significantly as a true freshman. And then you're going to have guys healthy that weren't healthy a year ago, like a Jaden Gibson, for instance, or, Deion Burks was banged up pretty much all season after non-conference play. So to get him healthy, and assuming those guys stay healthy, there's a ton of untapped potential for this Oklahoma offense. And if Mateer can really be the straw that stirs the drink, this is a team that absolutely has the talent on the roster to go win 9 or 10.
Well, and the thing is, we have never seen, besides going back to like John Blake, end of his tenure, a bigger offensive disaster than we saw last year. I mean, it was just bad offense. And I know it got a little bit better once Joe John was calling plays, and they got a little bit healthier on the offensive line. At least they were not laughable, But you give away that game at Missouri. Jackson Arnold, here, take the ball, There are things that happened last year that I never thought I'd see again, in Oklahoma football history, except when it was, Schnelly and Blake. And I can't see the offense doing anything but being a whole lot better. And again, the injury situation was a disaster. But I think that Michigan game is going to be crucial, because you win that opening game against Illinois State, obviously, but you need that fan base again pumped up. You need those guys getting confident early in the game. If you can beat Michigan in that second game, you're feeling good. You go and you beat Temple. I believe that Auburn's got some talent. We'll see if Jackson Arnold will be a better quarterback, but that's a game you've got to win. You can really get some great early momentum, get some confidence rolling if you can win the Michigan game, and then let's see what happens after that. By the way, our man Blake has the YouTube poll question today. It's a good one. If the SEC gets 4 automatic bids in the college football playoff, which they're going to, how likely is it that Oklahoma makes it in the next 2 seasons? If the SEC gets the 4 automatic bids in the college football playoff, how likely is it that OU will make it in the next 2 seasons? You can go 0, 25%, 26 to 50, 51 to 75, or 76 to 100. I just selected right here 26 to 50, and that's the current leader at 42%. So there you go. But, football, if you can get football going, look, you're not going to be the big bully on the block like you were in the Big 12 when Oklahoma won as many championships as the rest of the league combined, but you can still be a bully. You're still Oklahoma, And I just think that so much of the fans' energy, emanates from how the football program's doing. And then if you throw a bad basketball season on top of that, like has happened here recently, then it really gets bad. And that's where we are right now. Okay, 405-651-3439 on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Let's hit that. Let's hit the YouTube chat real quick.
Kyle in Broken Bow says, great tight ends are so deadly. That's what we need.
Well, maybe Devon Mitchell will mature. And last year he was, he was obviously should have been a senior in high school. He looks great getting off the bus. He looks like he could be the Sooners' next great tight end. But, I love the tweet he came out with where he said, hey, man, I wasn't ready. I wasn't mature enough. Looks like he's taking responsibility for all that stuff. Maybe he'll be that guy. We'll see. Having a tight end as a weapon is always great for an offense, a real weapon. Okay, what else do we have, Parker?
Big Rich in OKC points out, guys, if Jackson Arnold hadn't just vomited up the ball in the Tennessee and Missouri games, we would have been 8-4 going into the bowl game.
There's a chance of that, yes, absolutely. The one that kills me is Oklahoma in the Tennessee game. That defense, at least early in the game, and they gave up some stuff down, long touchdown pass. Tennessee started running the football. But they did enough early in that game to give the offense a chance to really get a lot of momentum. The crowd was pumped up. The crowd was still pretty energized most of the night. But they gave the offense the ball inside the 5-yard line. And what happened? Fumble Rooski. Jackson Arnold. And the offense, it was the opposite of complimentary football pretty much all season long. All right, off the YouTube chat, we have Mars Jam says, bye, Porter. Jimmy wants to know, is Oklahoma in talks with Will Wade, the basketball coach, formerly at LSU, currently at McNeese State? I think they're 21-6 on the year. Here's the deal, Parker. His record's really good. Wasn't Will Wade on an FBI wiretap? Right?
What?
Got in trouble for offering recruit money and everything. I mean, he got in trouble clearly with the NCAA, and I think didn't he have to sit out some games before he started coaching again? But I don't know what the clearance on that. But here's the deal: OU's compliance is very compliant, right? So that would be my question about Will Wade, because there's some baggage there. He's obviously done a really good job.
Yeah, well, his show cause ends this summer.
Yeah.
So that does make it a very opportune time for a Power 4 basketball program to hire him. I think he's going to get a new job. I think he's going to get a P4 job. I don't know where that might be yet, but it is a very opportune time for some P4 institution to come and hire him away from McNeese.
Yeah, we'll see. But my deal is Oklahoma plays it by the book pretty much, right? I mean, that's what they do. And I'm not saying they need to go out and get as many cheaters as possible. But you're in a league, the SEC, and look, Oklahoma clearly, they had their issues with the NCAA back in the day as well. I think a lot of schools have. Oklahoma's reputation after the Charles Thompson incident and Switzer having to resign was about as low as you can go. But they've really tried to clean that up. Joe C. likes doing things by the book. Compliance does. So in that respect, I don't know that Will Wade would be serious. Who knows? It just doesn't look like that would be something they would do.
Jim in Casper, Wyoming says, Parker is correct with the apathy statement. Basketball is awful, and until further notice, football is looking at 6-6 next year. Sooner Dougie adds, Parker is right. I have been a longtime fan for OU basketball. This is the worst 4 years I can ever remember. I had season tickets when Kelvin was here and Billy was here. Heck, Wayman and William were at my wedding reception. I can't stand to watch it. I know a disaster is getting ready to happen no matter what they do. So I've switched to women's basketball. I have season tickets. Let me invite everyone that is frustrated with the men to come out. Come out if you haven't been out one time and watch Jenny watch these girls hustle, watch these girls close out games, watch these girls play like a Sooner team is expected to play. That text got a little incoherent towards the end, but the gist of it was, if you're tired of the men, come out, see Jenny and the women.
6 o'clock tonight at the LNC against Vanderbilt. The OU women, what are they, 19-6, 7-5 in the conference. So, yeah, that'll be on the SEC Network. And then they go to Fayetteville coming up this weekend. So, And the Sooner men, next up, number 21, Mississippi State. The Mississippi State Bulldogs took down A&M by 16 in Starkville, Mississippi last night. So another tough one coming up for the Sooners at noon on Saturday. 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Hey, I'm just telling it like it is. Look, Oklahoma has a reputation for trying to do things the right way, and I'm just giving you my opinion. Will Wade would be a guy that, again, I think they would shy away from. I'm not saying the guy can't coach. I'm not saying I wouldn't hire him, but I would be surprised. But maybe desperate times call for desperate measures, Parker Thune.
Kylan Brogan said, just bring in Doug Gottlieb. Easy hire.
I saw some people. What about Coach K, Rick Pitino? Maybe you give Coach K a call, see if he's bored. I don't know.
Please be realistic.
I know.
OU hoops, and to all the folks that are saying that, please be realistic. OU
How about
hoops
TJ Otzelberger at Iowa State? Maybe he wants to go to the best conference in the country now.
I think Iowa State is a better basketball job than Oklahoma right now.
Well, yeah, I do too. I mean, they were, what were they, 1 or 2 in the country for a while. They've dropped off. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe it could be one of these guys at a smaller school that they score a lot of points, get up and down the floor. Who's the guy at High Point? They're scoring a lot of points. They were
that's
great.
where Duke Miles came from.
27-9. They're 23-5 this year. I think they were like 27-28 wins. Alan Huss, I think is his name, but he's really young. Everybody talks about Bucky McMillan from Sanford. They're scoring points, and he's had, you know, I think they're 18-5 this year. They won 29 a year ago. He's had this would be his 4th 20-win plus season. They get up and down the floor. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, we got to take a break. Representing Cavens today, if you have an issue with flooding in your home because you had a pipe burst on you, that is not good. Or your business. You need to get back in business ASAP. The best way to do that, call Cavens as quickly as possible. Get them on the job. They have the best teams. They have the most teams. They can get to you quickly, and they do it right. They've got trained pros. Call Cavens at 405-573-3048. If you get to your business, find out, oh, no, pipe burst, we're in trouble, you need to make the call to Cavens. 405-573-3048. Take a break. Come right back. Talking more Sooner sports next, right here on The Ref.
Join the movement. The Ref Army is growing. Don't miss a second of the Sooner coverage you want with the KREF app, the #1 source for Sooner fans. The Ref is the home of Sooner fans and is once again your home for chaos. Every game-changing hit.
Long fly ball to left. Track. Whoa. Gone.
Every strikeout.
Got him. Swinging.
Every defensive gem.
He caught it. He caught it.
Every game, all year, the Ref has you covered.
Catch Sooner baseball at the Round Rock Classic against Minnesota Friday at 2, Oregon State Saturday at 4, and Virginia Sunday at 4 right here on the Ref and the KREF app.
Belmar Golf Club offers a whole new world of recreation and excitement. Our Junior Olympic-sized swimming pool offers a family-friendly atmosphere with poolside food and beverages perfect for all types of summer pool parties. In addition to the best golf course in Oklahoma, Belmar is also a great place to hold corporate and fundraising events, as well as magnificent and memorable wedding ceremonies. Call 405-364-0111 or stop by 1025 East Indian Hills Road and check out our first-class facilities and exceptional service.
Basketball season's here, and there's no better place to watch the Sooners than at Coach's Corner in Norman. Catch every thrilling play on tons of TVs, plus enjoy the coldest beer in town. But wait, Coach's Corner isn't just for game days. Join us Tuesday nights for bingo, Wednesday nights for Singo, and don't miss Thirsty Thursdays with unbeatable drink specials. With Soul Food Sundays, the best atmosphere for OU basketball, and events all week long, Coach's Corner is your go-to spot at the intersection of Lindsay and Berry, where every day is game day.
Schumacher Law Group, when experience matters. Tracy Schumacher is a former prosecutor and former district judge. Whether it's a probate challenge, criminal charges, or contentious divorce proceedings, experience matters. The attorneys at Schumacher Law Group provide compassionate, knowledgeable advice, all while fighting for your best interests. Find Schumacher Law Group online at lawgroupok.com or call 405-701-1882. Hometown lawyers ready to fight for you when experience matters.
Does your business need a trusted electrical advisor to help with repairs, maintenance, service changes, or upgrades? Don't just trust anyone. Choose Wade Electric, a family-owned company with over 50 years of experience. Wade Electric has an extensive portfolio of completed projects in new construction, remodels, and service. We specialize in a variety of electrical installations like accent lighting and automation, landscape and security lighting, shop and outbuilding wiring, and more. Call Wade Electric today at 405-329-1940 for all your electrical needs.
Now that open enrollment for healthcare coverage has ended, there's still several options to consider that just might benefit you. Need to purchase your own health insurance? Confused about Medicare? Considering offering benefits to your employees? Call the agents at Allison Insurance, featuring 70-plus years of combined insurance business experience. They're able to help clients avoid mistakes when purchasing individual or group health insurance. Call Allison Insurance at 800-580-5587 or 745-2968. They are the experts.
Dreaming of an escape? What about a relaxing escape to your very own backyard? Signature Custom Pools can turn your dreams into reality. Signature Custom Pools creates distinctive designs to fit your perfect getaway. Call Signature Custom Pools for your free design consultation at 405-898-9098 or visit them online at signaturecustompools.com and turn your backyard into your dream escape.
OU softball, baseball, and gymnastics offer great opportunities for you to get out for some exciting action and support your Sooners. Going to an OU event or game? Balfour of Norman on Campus Corner invites you to stop by and get some new OU gear. Whether it's a softball jersey with your favorite player or just a new lucky shirt or hat to wear to the game, Balfour has everything you need to be in style and showing your colors. Cheer for the Sooners in the best and newest styles in Sooner sportswear. Come see us on the corner or shop online at crimsonproud.com, where you will find everything Sooner.
Representing Gary and Caven's group today on this Wednesday. Hope you're being safe. Hope you're keeping warm and having a great Wednesday so far. Mike Steely, Parker Thune here with you on the Home of Sooner Fans, the Ref Radio Network. Again, if you get to your business today or tomorrow or whenever and you find out you've got some flooding in your business or in your home, you want to call Caven's first. They're the best in the business. These guys train all the time. They've got the latest equipment. Gary makes sure they're on top of technology. They will get the job done right for you, and they can get to you quicker than other services out there. They're local, number one, and they have more crews than anybody in the business and the best trained crews as well. So you don't want to be out of business, right, for a couple days, a couple weeks, or a month or whatever. They can get you back and running as quickly as possible. You need to call Caven's quickly, though, once you see you have an issue at 405-573-3048. Busted pipe, that can be a major problem. And again, Caven's, they're the best. They'll get the job done for you quickly and the right way. 405-573-3048. Also, thanks to our friends out at Riverwind, nearly 3,000 electronic games. Not only do they have the best gaming floor in the business with all those electronic gaming machines, they've got all your favorite table games as well. A couple of table game pits, 2 high-stakes areas, world-class poker room, smoke-free gaming area, the Oasis gaming area, upstairs gaming area, the Skyloft gaming area. Great promotions this Friday night. It's another round of the 80K Cupid's Quest promotional drawings happening. Again, Friday nights at Riverwind. Get on out there and collect your share of 80K in cash and bonus play. And we've got shows coming up this weekend at the Showplace Theater. Aaron Lewis and the Stayliners Friday night. Ryan Bingham and the Texas Gentlemen on Saturday night. And tickets just went on sale for a couple of new shows at the Showplace coming up in May. The Randy Rogers Band on a Saturday night, May 10th. And tickets also went on sale for Scotty McCreery Friday night, May 16th at Riverwind. Get online at riverwind.com. Or if you're out at the casino, just drop by the casino box office. Okay, 405-651-3439. How about you know who's upset too? Sooner fans are very upset right now, and I don't blame them Kansas basketball fans, they got drilled last night by BYU 91-57, tying the worst all-time loss point-wise in the Bill Self era. KU currently 17-9, 8-7 in the Big 12. Not good. Not good at all. KU does host Oklahoma State this Saturday, and Oklahoma State's been horrible. But, you talk about the state and the depression, and I know Sooner fans don't care, about the other state schools. But football, OU 6-7, Oklahoma State 3-9, Tulsa 3-9. Basketball, the Sooners are 16-10, Oklahoma State 12-13, Tulsa 11-15, ORU 6-19. I mean, it's just been brutal, absolutely brutal. So there's a depression. I might need to go see a psychiatrist. I probably need to see one anyway. But it's very depressing, Parker, because the negativity will not stop. And you know what? I really can't blame a lot of these Sooner fans when they're negative right now, because they don't see a lot of good right now happening, at least with the two men's big programs. All right, you want to hit the text line?
Let's do it. Sooner James in Wisconsin texted in 405-651-3439 to ask, is Dennis Hopper from Hoosiers available? That would be the hoops equivalent of hiring Howard Schnellenberger.
Yeah. If you can get him out of the hospital, yeah.
Doug in San Antonio asked, what is the status of Andy Bass' health? Any chance he can provide depth at running back if we lose one or two to the portal? Andy Bass is still recovering from an injury that he suffered in December during bowl prep, so he's not going through workouts right now. Jake from Wisconsin says, I've heard people saying, you should hire the Drake head coach. What do you guys think? That's where we got Jenny Baranczyk from, and he did pretty good with less this year. He made a jump from D2 to D1 and has done great. Yeah, Ben McCollum is his name. He spent 15 years at Northwest Missouri State. I believe he won 4 national championships at the D2 level with Northwest Missouri State, and this year in year 1 at Drake, he's got him 22-3.
Pretty impressive. Yeah, that's an up-and-comer, no doubt. Somebody was asking, what was Billy's reputation before he came to Norman? Well, Billy was at Lamar, and they had a really good team there in Beaumont. They beat Oregon State. They upset Oregon State. I'm trying to remember if Oregon State, that Ralph Miller Oregon State team was the number 1 seed. They were one of the top seeds in the tournament. They had great players. The Beavers were a really good program back then. And Lamar beat them in the tournament. They had a nice tournament run. Billy was winning 23, 25 games or so. He was tearing it up, and they were playing exciting basketball. Now, the first choice for that job, if you're a hardcore Sooner fan, and maybe you're in my age bracket, most of you probably aren't, but the first choice was John Thompson at Georgetown. And there was some thought that John Thompson might take that job, but then it did not happen. The rest is history. Built, a great program there, in the 80s into the early 90s, mid-90s at Georgetown. They're not as good as they used to be with the Patrick Ewing teams, Allen Iverson. You think about the Big East back then. But John Thompson was the first choice. But when he was out, Billy Tubbs was in. And Billy was obviously one of the greatest hires ever at OU. Okay, 405-651-3439. Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line.
Patrick says, bring Billy Ball back. Full court press the whole game. Sooner man adds, if we hired Doug Gottlieb, I would hope we get the death penalty.
That's been a rough go. I like Doug, but that whole situation just never made sense to me. It just like, really? You're still going to let him do a show? I mean, I just thought that was bizarre from the beginning.
Lucky Enough says, that's what we need to compete, Steely. Will Wade, some coach that's on the FBS or on the FBI's NCAA compliance watch list.
I'm sorry, I was reading one on YouTube saying that there's no chance on Will Wade. Was that what the
No, that listener was saying we need a bad boy.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I'm just talking. I'm thinking the way that OU operates, and I wouldn't think that would be a direction they would go. But like I said, maybe desperate times, desperate measures, because I think the guy would be a good coach. There's no doubt. But, yeah, how about that? Think if John Thompson had taken the job. And that would have been a great hire for OU, too. But Billy ended up being, just a grand slam out of the park home run hire.
What
Tremendous.
has become of Georgetown hoops, man? The most notable Georgetown basketball moment of my lifetime was their loss to Florida Gulf Coast in the round of 64. Back in, what was that, 2013? Georgetown basketball used to be a titan. That was before my time.
Well, kind of like we talked about DePaul yesterday, because there was a thought that Porter was, he was probably the top candidate at DePaul and back to Chicago. We thought, well, would he take that? And DePaul was a powerhouse. Mark Aguirre, Terry Cummings, Skip Dillard, Dallas Comegys, some of those great players they had back in the day, and they're not the same.
Sad basketball fan Josh says, no chance Joe C. would go for a bad boy.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, I agree.
Name to watch, says sad basketball fan Josh, would be Eric Henderson from South Dakota State. There we go, baby.
They're tearing it up. They are tearing it up.
Jackrabbits, baby. Denver from Indiana says, question. With this $20+ million salary for all programs coming, will that equal the divide out? For example, Auburn spent big on hoops. I can't see them taking $4 million away from football. Or am I reading that wrong? Especially with a review process for NIL, people can't just pay what they want.
My understanding is you disperse with the funds pretty much how you want, right? Unless that's changed. But so I think the model that you're hearing from a lot of schools is it would be like 75% to football, correct? And then they would find out how to distribute the rest. Again, we're talking about feeding the monster, because football must be fed and hasn't been fed enough recently. So that would be my guess. We'll find out. All right. Just got a text. Steely, you're the old school hoops guy. Who would your all BYU basketball team be? Why is it?
BYU
because
basketball.
we were talking about Kansas getting drilled by BYU. Jimmer Fredette is on there. Danny Ainge would be on there. Sean Bradley, even though he was a huge bust. Remember the debate?
That's
Sean Bradley or Sean Bradley or Chris Webber. One turned out to be a superstar. The other flopped. Devin Durant. Greg Kite played with the Celtics, was a BYU guy. Who did you mention? Anybody else? Parker, did you mention another one?
No, Jimmer Fredette is the only one that springs to mind for me.
Definitely top three would be some form. Well, to me it would be Danny Ainge, then Jimmer Fredette, then probably Sean Bradley.
Welcome to off-season radio, folks.
That's right. Hey, they asked me, I think because we were talking about BYU hammered Kansas last night by 34 in Provo. We got time for a couple more, real quick.
On the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Hang on. KW918 has a really good text, but I don't think we have enough time to discuss
hold it over
the way that we probably should this hour. So, yeah, let's hold that one over. Reformed Homer says, I keep hearing a cyclical argument. 1, teams need fans to enhance the atmosphere. 2, the team needs to be better to draw in fans. I mean, it's kind of the perpetual chicken or the egg thing, Reformed Homer, right? Like, at some point, something has to give. Either Oklahoma has to play better basketball to draw in more fans, or the fans have to show up and help OU play better basketball. I will say, though, that's kind of the reason, or one of the primary reasons why I think you just have to make a change at season's end, because even if OU were to get hot in hoops, I'm not sure it would drive attendance, because Porter Moser's teams have pump-faked the fan base so many times. They start looking good, they get on a run, fans come and pack out the Lloyd Noble Center, and they flop. How many times have we seen that over the last 4 years?
I like that. Pump fake the fan base. Pretty good. Pretty good. By the way, on YouTube TV, OU Hockey TV says, we know an OU team that rocked it during conference play this year. Now, it's a club sport, but, yeah, they've been kicking butt, no doubt. And they kicked some butt also on the ice in that Rumble over the weekend. Anytime The goalies drop the gloves. That's a good thing. And Team USA and Canada tomorrow night, right? Ooh, that was interesting stuff over the weekend. Should be fantastic. I'm not a huge hockey guy. Just didn't grow up with it. But I think I'll be watching a lot of that coming up tomorrow night. Okay. Thank you, Last Year Home Comfort Systems. Hour number 1 is a wrap. Representing Cavens, call Cavens, 405-573-3048. If you have a busted pipe and some flooding issues in your business, we'll be right back.
Sound off any time of day on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439. Right here on the home of Sooner fans, the Ref Sports Radio Network.
Fall in love with OKC's favorite casino.
Because at Riverwind, we've got it all.
Grab a bite at one of our many restaurants.
Or sip and spin at our high-stakes area.
And the Showplace Theater at Riverwind is the hottest spot for live music.
Shoot your shot at our $80,000 Cupid's Quest giveaway.
For the best gaming and unforgettable entertainment.
It's gotta be Riverwind.
The Mont invites you to come by and enjoy our high-quality food and drinks in our historic atmosphere. The Mont has won numerous awards, including Best Restaurant in Norman, Best Appetizer for our great queso, Best Exotic Drink for the original swirl, the Best Patio Dining for our beautifully landscaped patio. Come see the Town Tavern OU football scoreboards dating back to 1947. We'll see you at the Mont on the corner of Boyd and Classen, or call us at 329-3330. OU softball, baseball, and gymnastics offer great opportunities for you to get out for some exciting action and support your Sooners. Going to an OU event or game? Balfour of Norman on Campus Corner invites you to stop by and get some new OU gear. Whether it's a softball jersey with your favorite player or just a new lucky shirt or hat to wear to the game, Balfour has everything you need to be in style and showing your colors. Cheer for the Sooners in the best and newest styles in Sooner sportswear. Locally owned for more than 45 years, Balfour continues to be Sooner fans' favorite OU store and has everything you need. Balfour has the latest styles and fashion trends for men, women, and children. You can find something for every Sooner fan. When it comes to hats, they have you covered with more than 100 styles to choose from. Even OU socks, so you're literally covered from head to toe. Graduation is right around the corner. They have OU diploma frames in stock. Or you can always get a gift card so they can choose the perfect gift for themselves. Come see us on the corner or shop online at crimsonproud.com, where you will find everything Sooner.
Hey Sooner sports fans, this is Faith Torres and Danae Fletcher from the 6-time national champions Oklahoma women's gymnastics team. We've had a great start to our first season in the SEC. With only 4 meets, including Florida and Michigan, you won't want to miss any of the action.
Get your tickets at Soonersports.com and become a member of Team 10 to support OU Women's Gym and receive unique experiences and special access to the team.
Team 10 supports our team above and beyond anything I could have ever dreamed. Go to Soonersports.com and become a member of Team 10 today. Boomer!
Dreaming of an escape? What about a relaxing escape to your very own backyard? Signature Custom Pools can turn your dreams into reality. Signature Custom Pools creates distinctive designs to fit your perfect getaway. Call Signature Custom Pools for your free design consultation at 405-898-9098 or visit them online at signaturecustompools.com and turn your backyard into your dream escape.
For the professional, it's not enough to just possess knowledge. That's why at GMC, we seek to refine it, to wield its power, to redefine its boundaries, while pushing the limits. And we put this knowledge to the test in every GMC Sierra by engineering each one to outperform your expectations. So you know you're getting precision and durability when you need it most. And that's what makes the GMC Sierra the truck worth knowing. We are professional grade. See your Oklahoma GMC dealers.
Mama, what does the chicken say? Dog. Cat. Giraffe.
Giraffe, really?
Giraffe. You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the home of Sooner fans, KREF, Norman, Oklahoma, and streaming live on the KREF app.
The Ref Sports Radio Network.
All right, let's kick off hour number 2 here on the home of Sooner fans. Mike Steele, Parker Thune with you, and Parker is back in the Buffalo Wild Wings studios. I'm home in the friendly confines of the luxurious Shea Stadium in a corporate box right now. Feels good. Feels really good. But we are representing our man Gary Cavins and Cavins Group today. We're normally out there every Wednesday. I can tell you this, there are going to be some bursting pipes with these freezing temperatures. There's going to be some flooding. If it is happening to you and your business, that could be a major issue, and you want to get it taken care of very quickly. All right? You want it taken care of because that's going to cost you money. You can't be out of business that long, particularly, in this day and age when, you just got to be up and running. You've got to be up and running. You can't afford to lose cash. Cash flow is important. You need to call Cavins Group. They're the best in the business at fixing this stuff because they have the most crews, the best crews. So if you go to work and you find some water in your business as a pipe, burst in the winter weather here, you want to make sure your first call and a fast call goes to Cavins Group at 405-573-3048 because Gary and his crew, I see them in action. They're unbelievable. We had some leakage here one time from our heating and air units, and I'm like, oh, my gosh, these buckets are filling up too quickly, and they were here, and it was surgical, man. It was unbelievable how quickly they took care of everything. So they're the best. So, again, you have a better chance to negate that water emergency in, a winter event like this if you call the folks at Cavins because you want to call the very best. And they're local in the community with a great reputation. It could save your business from being down maybe for a couple weeks or even a couple days or not at all. And that's very important. 405-573-3048 for Cavins Group. Okay, 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. By the way, hour number 2, also a presentation of Hightower Clinical. We appreciate them. They bring great clinical trial opportunities to the metro area here in Oklahoma. No cost, no insurance needed to take part in the trials. Your meds, they're free. Patients can be compensated for their time as well. And if you want more information on these great clinical trial opportunities, you can check them out online at hightowerclinical.com, or you can call or text them at 405-831-5905, Hightower Clinical. Blake Gamble also is going to read some texts. He, ladies and gentlemen, is keeping track of the YouTube chat. So let's hit Blake first, see what he's got for us. Tell us about the poll on the YouTube live stream today, and then we'll get to some texts on the text line.
Yes, Steelman. The question or the poll in today's YouTube chat, if the SEC gets 4 auto bids in the college football playoff, and we all think that's the case, how likely is it OU makes it in the next 2 seasons? Pretty even distribution. The 4 options are just every 25%, 0 to 25, 26 to 50, 51 to 75, or 76 plus. Right now, the leader is that 26 to 50 range, with about a third of the votes. Just below that is 0 to 25. So only about a third of voters right now of the 40 votes we have think it's a better than 50% chance. So still plenty of time to vote in that. You can go to our YouTube page, just search KREF Sports. Let's see here. Randy chimes in. Joe C. needs to get something right at this point. Will Wade or Hodgson, which I had to look him up. Brian Hodgson is the head basketball coach at Arkansas State. Just in his second season. He's had some success there. They didn't make the NCAA tournament this last year, so a little bit of a surprising name. But, Steelman, he was an assistant under Nate Oates at Alabama for a handful of years.
Well, Alabama is great. Nate Oates has a great program. They're leading the country in scoring as well. They play exciting basketball. But guess what? They also get really good players in that system too.
Bingo. And he was the lead recruiter under Nate Oates. He oversaw the 2022 recruiting class ranked 3rd in the nation, personally responsible for the recruitment of Brandon Miller. So a big-time recruiter. That could certainly help out OU basketball.
Isn't Brandon Miller the guy that allegedly killed a guy?
Was he in a situation where someone was shot?
There was a case around. Was that Brandon Miller?
I'm trying to think. I'd have to go ahead and Google it up.
Oh yeah, wrongful death lawsuit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Steely, we have received a manifesto.
Okay. Is it from Ted Kaczynski in prison or what?
It is not from Ted Kaczynski in prison. We got several really good texts I want to loop back around to, but we received a manifesto from Doug in Norman's son, Alec. And generally, Doug has very well thought out opinions, even if they can be incendiary, and so they're worth reading. The same is generally true of Alec. Alec says, "This is Alec, and I am Doug from Norman's son. I was on the side of the change for OU basketball a few weeks ago. I thought maybe a change was needed in order to get OU basketball back on track. As the losses have mounted and the team has not dealt with the expectations and not executed the way they're capable of, I have changed my outlook on OU basketball. I don't think firing Porter Moser would be the difference OU basketball needs. We all want OU basketball in the NCAA tournament. We all want the team to show the kind of success the Buddy Hield, Ryan Spangler-led team showed us when they went to the Final Four. Also, the first season Doug from Norman and his son had season tickets. Coincidence? Maybe. Anyways, any coach replacing Porter Moser will fall into the same issues. Not enough NIL to compete for the best players, fan apathy, lack of success on TV to show potential recruits and transfers that coming here would be a great thing. Some of the ills from the Porter Moser era here deserve to be laid on blankets at his feet, but not all of them. Porter Moser can do the job. I believe he needs help."
Well, my thought on that, look, he did a great job at Loyola. It's a great story. Sister Jean, Crowwig and that team to get to the Final Four. They beat Illinois, on the road to get to that Final Four. I think Porter's a good coach. It just hasn't worked out. It hasn't worked out. And I think right now the fan base is just done, right? They're just done. And if you think, I guess the next step would be well done. If you bring Porter back, unless there's a miraculous turnaround.
Cooked, you might say?
I wouldn't say that. The young people would say that. But, yes, I can't see it happening, Parker, unless it's all about the finances and the buyout. But I don't know. And it sucks because I think if you talk to him, and I've only talked to him on a couple of occasions, I know that everybody who deals with him all the time, he's a great dude. But you know what? If great dudes aren't winning basketball games at the level you expect in your program, it doesn't matter if you're a great dude, You've got to win games. So I get it. I don't think Porter is the main issue. There are a lot of issues with OU basketball, no doubt. But it just seems time.
Speaking of issues, a listener in the 405 has a diagnosis for us.
Okay.
As a former athletic department employee, when I saw that email from Joe C. yesterday, I couldn't help but laugh. He is and always has been the most out-of-touch AD in the country. The outside fan doesn't realize just how dysfunctional those offices are or how much a revolving door that place is for staff that aren't at the senior AD level. The times have long passed him, and him sticking around is only setting back everything even longer. Wow. Pretty scathing.
Now, are we taking that person at their word? Could it be a troll just that doesn't like Joe Castiglione? I don't know. I'm not trying to insult the guy in the text line.
I know that individual has texted in before about their past experiences in the OU athletic department, so I assume that they're telling us the truth in that regard, that they have firsthand experience. I don't know necessarily what their role was. Don't know all there is to know about that particular individual, but it is somebody that has a long and distinguished history of texting in opinions rooted in that firsthand experience in the OU athletic department.
Well, I'm not trying to make the person mad. Just sometimes in this day and age, you never know who's trolling and who's got what account. I don't know. But there is more heat, I believe, on Joe Castiglione than ever before. There's no doubt about that.
K-Dub in the 918 with another good text, and this is the one I wanted to come back to. Have we at least considered that Muleshoe kind of saw this disaster coming, which is why he pulled his stunt. OU wasn't SEC ready in any way. He foresaw this, so he bounced for his own sake. I mean, is it that hard to fathom given how bad we look in the two major sports? A coaching change won't fix all the problems down there.
Yeah, I mean, is there a possibility? Yes, absolutely. Now, the question was, did Muleshoe know that, because the thought process, well, he's running from the SEC because, he doesn't think Oklahoma's SEC ready, especially on defense. They clearly weren't. But did he have any foresight that, I think a lot of people thought eventually there were going to be 48, 60 teams in a super conference setup, correct? So I don't know. And by the way, I still think he's a son of a bitch anyway. How's that?
Reformed Homer. Oh, here we go. Reformed Homer said, $7 million buyout or $2 million on a couple of good big men, spend 2 and save 5. What would Trump do? Make Sooner basketball great again.
Maybe they need Doge to come in and do an audit.
Sooner Man says, I was fired up when we hired Porter, but it hasn't worked out well. Yeah, amen to that. I think a lot of people are fired up, man.
Sometimes you just know when something's done, right? Look, and I don't think Porter's given up. He's trying to coach him up. He's still, spirited and positive. I mean, I don't think he's a bad coach at all. But it hasn't worked at Oklahoma. And sometimes, you know what? This might be a relief for Porter Moser. I mean, I'm sure you don't want the I don't want to say humiliation, but nobody likes getting fired. But you can be in a job where you kind of realize, man, this just isn't working, and I'm not sure it's going to work either, So who knows? I just can't see it going another year. I think the fans are done, and who knows? Maybe Porter Moser, he'd never say it, but I'm sure he's extremely frustrated as well because he's hamstrung by, a lack of NIL against some of the teams he's competing against in an arena that's way out of date. But he's also responsible for the on-court product.
Lloyd says, Parker, too much negative Nancy talk. Stop all the whining. OU is the #1 school in the country. Boomer Sooner. Listen, Lloyd, I agree with you. The University of Oklahoma is my alma mater and Steely's alma mater. We both got a degree from, heck, I got 2 of them, right? There is no university that I love more than the University of Oklahoma. But I can also call a spade a spade. Things are not great right now with the OU basketball program. And they've just kind of plateaued in recent years. They're not going anywhere. The program is not going anywhere. There is no upward trajectory right now. There is nothing, when you look at the program and you look at the future, there is nothing to make you believe that this team is going to be any better next season than they are right now. Is there?
No, and like I said, don't you get the feeling in certain situations, Parker, when something just can't go on anymore, And I'm not saying it's 100% of the time it happens, but I would be shocked if Porter came back. Now, could they win these home games they have left? They got Mississippi State coming up, and that's the number 21 team in the country. They've got Missouri coming up, and they also have who's the other home game? Kentucky coming up. So, I don't know. Let's say you win 2 of those. They were talking last night in the broadcast 6 might get Oklahoma in. I don't know. But you've got to you would have to, you get there by winning your home games, but all 3 of those teams, Mississippi State 21st, Kentucky 17th, Ole Miss or Missouri is 16th. Would it shock me if they won one of them? No. Would it really surprise me if they won 2 of them? Yes. So I just don't see it happening. I can lie to you if you want. Yeah, it's going to be great, man. Boomer. They got this.
Jesse G says, for what it's worth, my daughter is a senior at OU now. She and her boyfriend have both worked in the athletic department for a while. and they both adore Joe C. Krabby Sooner adds, no, Lincoln did not foresee anything. It's all just coincidence and conspiracy.
Yeah, I don't. On the Joe C deal, look, you can have an experience with somebody at work that, a boss or whoever, somebody who works above you, that you think is horrible, and a lot of other people can think they're fantastic. That happens in life. So, I don't know. I've heard nothing but good stuff about Joe C. He's got a great reputation. Is there a struggle? Is there an issue now? Am I 100% saying that, yeah, Joe C. is the man to lead Oklahoma into the future? I don't know that. I mean, 25 years on a job is a long time. And but if you ask me if I still have confidence in him, I would say yes. But it's, there are some people out there who tell me they need a business guy in there with a business approach. That's what they need. And I know that's how a lot of these athletic departments are modeling their, putting their models together now for how they do it. So I don't know. I just know that Joe C. is well-respected nationwide. But everybody can have a different experience with some people. I remember people told me, Kelvin, how do you like Kelvin Sampson? He's a complete jerk. I never had an experience with Kelvin Sampson where he was a jerk to me or ever anything but nice. So I can't share your opinion because there was no jerkiness, when I was around certain people. If they were a jerk to you, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to just automatically change my opinion on a person when they haven't been that way to me.
DC Sooner on the text line says, OU basketball is like the Toronto plane crash. I'm not sure exactly what he means. Like, what, it's upside down and on fire?
Well, it is a dumpster fire right now. 5 losses in a row. Just think, they beat Vanderbilt by 30. You thought, well, maybe they have some momentum. Since then, lost to Auburn by 30, Tennessee by 18, Mizzou by 24, LSU only by 3, but that was the biggest disaster of the whole bunch. And by Florida, the number 2 team in the country last night in Gainesville by 22. All right, let's break right here. We got Gary wants to tell you about what's happening, with this winter weather event. We'll have him on for a couple minutes, and then we'll get back to your texts. 405-651-3439 on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Keep it right here on the home of Sooner fans.
Bleed Crimson? Love great Sooner talk? Join the Ref Army by downloading our free app. Toby and TJ, Plank and Josh, Steelman and Thune, and Teddy and Tyler. We have the Sooner experts. The Ref is home to Sooner fans worldwide.
Considering refinancing your mortgage? Now might be the perfect time to start planning. With rates on the move, Stride Bank can help you determine if you may be able to lower your monthly payments, shorten your loan term, or tap into your home's equity. Stride's expert mortgage advisors will work with you to tailor a solution that fits your needs. With local roots and national reach, Stride Bank is your go-to partner for all your banking needs. Stride Bank, your trusted financial partner since 1913. Find out more at stridebank.com. Stride Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
More than 600,000 Oklahomans have disabilities. We can't afford to leave great employees behind just because they do things differently.
Who we are and what we accomplish
are much more important.
Hire an Oklahoman with a disability and gain dependability, commitment, and lower turnover. Reach out. Oklahoma Rehabilitation Services, okdrs.gov. 1-800-845-8476.
For 50 years, Moore Norman Technology Center has been our community's trusted source for technical career training in high-demand fields like healthcare and construction trades. On March 4th, voters have an opportunity to decide on a student investment plan aimed at increasing capacity at Moore Norman so all qualified students can train for a life-changing career. Moore Norman Technology Center, preparing students for a future that works. Visit mntc.edu/student investment for details and make plans to vote on March 4th.
Imagine one step, and suddenly a fall turns into a fracture.
For many, osteoporosis is a hidden threat, weakening bones silently until it's too late. At the Ortho Central Bone Health Clinic, we believe in personalized care to keep bones strong and resilient. Led by advanced practitioner Amanda Boyd, our team specializes in detection and personalized treatment plans, from bone density testing to strengthening bones after a fracture. Take charge of your bone health today. Call Ortho Central's Bone Health Clinic and let's build better bones together.
Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money, they're in the business of taking your money. Hi, this is Will Gosney with Yala Gosney Attorneys at Law. Have you ever had an insurance claim and thought, wow, I really am in good hands, or these folks truly are treating me like a neighbor? Well, that's where we can help. We'll deal with the stress, we'll get you back to your normal life. So save our number in your phone, and if you're ever
Okay,
hurt
Parker,
in a
if
wreck,
you'll call Gary,
call
we'll try and
or
make
text
it
us at
quick.
405-800-8080. It's 405-800-8080.
March is almost here, and the home of Sooner fans is ready to make the best 68 team giveaway better than ever again this year. Join us Monday, March 17th for the Refs' 24th annual 68 team giveaway, live at Buffalo Wild Wings off of 19th Street and more from noon to 7. The Refs' 68 team giveaway is presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind Casino. Good times, great rewards. The Ref, the home of Sooner fans, and your home for the best giveaways this March.
Hi Norman, it's DJ Newsom with Alliance Bank, your community-driven, friendly neighborhood bank. Whether you're a budding entrepreneur, lead a nonprofit organization, or just someone seeking a better banking experience, we've got you covered. From business to personal banking, we tailor our services to suit everyone's needs. We believe in making banking easy and enjoyable. Visit our Norman location or call us today at 405-286-5750. Alliance Bank, banking tailored to your needs. Member FDIC.
Looking for
Could
the
not
ultimate
reach
way
Gary,
to bring fun
Steely.
to your home this season? Galaxy
What?
Home Recreation has you covered. From top-of-the-line
text
pool
him.
tables, hot
He
tubs
may be
with
one
the
of those
best
deals like
hydrotherapy in the
Brandon,
business
you know,
to
when he's on
exciting
the
home
phone.
theater seating. Visit our showroom today and let
I
our
told him
experts create the
120,
perfect
so-
setup for family fun or entertaining friends. Located outside of the Sooner Mall in Norman on the north
might
side of the
try him
building.
again.
Mention
I
this
sent a
radio
text, we're
ad and
calling.
receive your exclusive offer. Galaxy Home Recreation, family owned and operated
You
in
can just jump
Oklahoma
in if
since
you get him.
1975.
All right, it's Wednesday. Appreciate you guys being with us. 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Next up, Sooner basketball again against Mississippi State at noon at the LNC on Saturday. The OU women play tonight against Vanderbilt. That'll be 6 p.m. on the SEC Network. Thunder back in action on Friday night, 8:30 against the Utah Jazz. And what else? Softball next plays, 2 games Saturday at noon. They've got Abilene Christian and Bowling Green at noon and 2:30. And then 2 games Sunday, 11 a.m. Wichita State, 1:30 Tulsa. And then 1 game Monday in the Norman tournament against Abilene Christian. Sooner baseball, the UT Arlington game rescheduled because of weather down at Globe Life Field in that area and travel concerns. OU baseball will play Minnesota, 2 p.m. Friday, Round Rock, Texas. You'll hear it right here on the Ref. Saturday, Oregon State at 4, and Sunday, Virginia at 4. All those games in Round Rock, Texas. Women's gymnastics, Florida, Friday night at the LNC at 7:45. Men's gymnastics in the Winter Cup in Louisville, Kentucky against Cal and Nebraska coming up on Friday. Gary Cavins, our man, is on the line. He's out and about doing jobs. Cavins all over the place, I'm sure. Gary, this winter event, we've talked about it time and time again. Pipes burst and businesses all of a sudden have some issues. You know, you can be flooded out for a while, but you guys are highly equipped and trained with a bunch of crews to get this taken care of. What are you saying so far, and what would you tell people about, you know, when you have a situation like that, what you need to do?
Well, you know, the most important thing is keep the heat on, keep the faucets dripping, keep the cabinets open in the bathrooms and stuff like that, and make sure that rooms that, you know, you have closed up, get them opened up, make sure there's heat going in there, because the temperatures were super, super freezing yesterday and last night, and they're going to continue to stay that way through today and tonight. But, you know, the most important thing is if you have a water issue, a pipe that breaks that floods your home, your business, you need to call as quickly as possible. The faster you respond, you call us, the faster we can respond and get out there and get it dealt with, and mitigate the damage that's going to happen to your property. And your insurance is going to handle as far as it financially in most cases. But if you let it go and you don't get it dried, then it could turn into a mold issue, and 99% of policies don't cover mold. So, you want to be proactive. You want to get it professionally done so the drying components, the building components get dried properly, the insulation, the framing, the sheetrock, inside the walls, all that kind of stuff. You got to make sure that a professional is doing that. A box fan from Lowe's or Home Depot is not going to get that job done properly. You'll definitely have mold issues down the road if you try to go that direction.
And you've got to be quick to make the call. Gary, how many crews, you've got so many crews that are available, and it's events like this where people need somebody there quickly. If their business, all of a sudden they walk in and they got, a couple inches of water on the floor, and you're like, oh, no, what do we do? They call you guys. You guys are prepared for this with a ton of crews and a ton of experience and a lot of training for these, how to get the business up and running again.
100%. I mean, we have crews up in Edmond, at our Edmond office on standby, ready to be dispatched. And then we have crews in Norman. Some crews have already been dispatched out of Norman, but there's some crews on standby here in Norman also. We're going to start seeing a lot of these pipe breaks happen once we start thawing out. Right now, they're just kind of frozen, but once they start thawing out, we'll start seeing a lot more issues. But it's really cold. It's going to stay really cold, and these pipes are going to break. I mean, sometimes you're going to take all precautions you can, and it's still going to happen. The best thing you can do when that happens, though, is to pick up the phone and call Cavens as quickly as possible to mitigate that damage. Especially with some of the roads and stuff like that right now. We're trying to get everywhere we can as quick as possible, but some of these secondary roads are pretty rough, and so it takes us a minute to get there. So the faster you respond, the faster we can respond and get out there. The other thing is that, make sure that, program our phone number in your phone, because this is when it's going to happen, and you're not going to want to have to Google it and search it up and look for Cavens Group. You just need to program it in your phone right now. Go to our website, and you can get our number off our website. Or, it's 405-573-3048. Again, that's 405-573-3048. We have other numbers for Tulsa and Edmond and Kansas, but if you call that number and you program that particular number, it'll get you to anybody at any point, anytime. So, again, 405-573-3048. And, like I said, the secondary roads are kind of rough. So the faster you call, the faster we can respond. And that's why we have teams mobilized at our different locations ready to go as soon as you call.
All right, Gary, mainly you guys are dealing with burst pipes, and, you've got all crews doing that. But you guys, I know, have done some work, with businesses, if they've got a parking lot issue, I know sometimes maybe not in a winter event like this, but you're out there also making sure that you can get that cleared up for them. You don't want employees showing up in a parking lot and slipping and sliding and having a medical situation. But there are other things you do in events like this, correct?
100%. We do. We have 5 plow trucks that also have salters on them. And all 5 trucks are currently running. They've been running since before the storm doing pre-treats. We actually brought in a big old truckload of ice melt from Dallas yesterday because everybody was sold out here, and we were burning through. We keep a pretty big stockpile of that. So for us to be burning through that as quickly as we have been means it's definitely pretty nasty out there. But we brought in a big truckload and trailer load of it yesterday evening, last night, and so we're restocked, and we've got crews out there. We're doing several malls, and we've got strip mall centers and doctors' offices and banks and grocery stores that we're currently doing because it's a sheet of ice. It's cold. It's not going anywhere, If it does melt from the sun's rays today, it's going to refreeze tonight. So it's a safety hazard. It's you can slip and fall and break a hip or hurt a shoulder, So, getting out there and making sure that ice is melted and cleared off as quickly as possible for businesses is a priority for our 5 crews that handle that scope of work for us.
405-573-3048. Put that number in your phone contacts. Cavins, C-A-V-I-N-S, Cavins Group. Any emergency that you have, busted pipe, any kind of, that when the seasons change and you might get smoke damage or crime scene cleanup, we hope you never need any kind of disaster response. But if you do, we want to tell you about the best, and the best is Gary and Cavins Group. 405-573-3048. Gary, I know you're busy. You're the man. Appreciate you.
Hey, thank you so much, Steely. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Gary Cavins, representing Cavins Group. And again, hopefully that your business is going to be fine. But if you see some water and some damage, if you haven't been there yet and you go in tomorrow or whatever and it's there, you want to call Cavins at 405-573-3048. Okay, Parker, you want to hit Blake first? We've got one more round for the poll question. So, Blake, why don't you tell us about that? What's up on the YouTube chat? Then we'll hit the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line.
Yes, Steelman, again, if the SEC gets 4 auto bids in the college football playoff, how likely is it OU makes it in the next 2 seasons? You have the option of basically voting for any quadrant of 25%. Right now, it's looking like only 38% believe it's greater than a 50% chance, and most of the fans think 38% of the fans, I should say it's between 26% and 50%. So not a ton of optimism that they will get it done in the next 2 seasons. Les says OU basketball just needs to start over, pay the money, and move on. Also chiming in says, I think Joe C is fine. They slow-rolled how they used NIL, which put us behind. I think they're on the right track now. Joe C has gotten a lot of criticism, guys. I've been surprised by that. He's got years and years of a great track record. It kind of reminds me of the criticism that Sam Presti got whenever the Thunder had a down year or two, and he's all of a sudden once again looked at as the best in the business. Is it possible that it's just this adjustment period of a new conference, the NIL?
Yeah, could be.
The departure of a football coach all at once.
I remember some of the people that were calling for Presti needs to be gone. This is like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That would be the dumbest thing they could do. But people get angry. Look, Josie's been around 25 years, got a great reputation. I'm not giving up on Joe Castiglione. We'll find out. They clearly, Parker, have to adjust the way they're going after things, and they're trying to make it a completely professional model. Times they are a-changing, and sometimes that change comes along a little too slowly. Maybe they did downplay. Maybe I do think they probably slow-played it a little bit, because I can remember Brent was not real big on the transfer portal in his initial press conferences. So, but I think they also realized, holy, you know what, we better start getting some people in the transfer portal, because you may not like the way things are going. I'm not a fan of it, but it's not going to be changing anytime soon. Now, the good news is the $20.5 million coming, looks like in July, and that there will be NIL valuations where you can't just give some outlandish amount of money to a kid if he's not really earning it. So I think that's going to help.
On the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line, Sooner fan from the 479, which is the state of Arkansas, says, Sooner fan from the 479 here. Good afternoon, guys. Can someone explain why, truthfully, Porter Moser isn't fired yet? I mean, it's clear we will not compete to even have a chance at the postseason, so why not go to an interim guy? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? We get beat? Best case scenario, the players rally and we end up making the postseason. I don't know. Just seems like this experiment has run out.
I mean, to me, you play it out. There's no reason to bring in it. Is it going to change anything? I mean, I don't know. I think that you let Porter play it out. But I don't think he's coming back. And I just can't see how that can happen. Your fan base is already angry enough. And look, successful people and ADs don't always react to angry fan bases because in this day and age, more people are a lot more prone to come on and start bitching about something than praising anything. That's just the way it is. But this is at a different level right now. This is at a different level. We've seen the movie before. It's a tired movie to watch. Gets off to a great first start. The first half, it looks like it's going to win an Academy Award, and then the second half is a candidate for a Razzie, right? So I don't see how they can do it. I don't see how. I would be shocked. I've never seen the OU fan base this upset. And like I said, that doesn't mean an AD or whoever's in charge, school president, wherever, they don't always respond to that. But in this instance, I think it's not that they're not fond of Porter and rooting for Porter, but you've just got to win more, and this stuff can't happen at Oklahoma over a 4-year period.
On the text line, Big Rich in OKC says, spend money on NIL, not buyout. Again, Big Rich, the NIL money has to come from outside the athletic department. The buyout money comes from inside the athletic department. So it's not as if Joe Castiglione is sitting there in his office with the vault door open trying to decide whether he should use the money on players or buying out the coach. No, the way it still is, at least for the moment, is that your NIL funding has to come from external sources, i.e. a collective. So you're not dealing with the same pool of money to devote to either NIL or the buyout. So it's easy to say, yeah, just spend more money on a roster, but you got to get that money from somewhere.
Yeah, I get the frustration from Sooner fans, but sometimes, it's not that easy. And you're right describing where the money comes from. All right, 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Remember, Cavens, if you have an issue with a burst pipe flooding your home or business, 405-573-3048 is the number you need to call. They're the best. Call as quickly as you can. They'll get you taken care of. Break time right here. We'll come back. Some final poll results and some other thoughts on what's happening with Sooner Sports. Back into football a little bit as well next year on the Ref.
A true Sooner fan wouldn't be caught dead without the KREF app. Join the Army. Get the app. Tell your friends. This is the Ref, where diehard Sooner fans listen.
Don't miss out on OKC's hottest entertainment at the Showplace Theater with acts like Gladys Knight, February 28th. 38 Special, March 7th. Bonnie Raitt, March 15th. And Chicago, March 28th. Riverwind is OKC's favorite casino experience.
Hi, this is Jack Kiker with Knippelmeyer Chevrolet, located in Blanchard, America. My grandfather, Larry Knippelmeyer, tells me everybody deserves to save money. So say goodbye to those pushy big-time dealers with all those add-ons like paint protectors, nitrogen tires, and everything else that they could possibly think of. Then come down to Knippelmeyer Chevrolet, just 15 minutes from OKC or Norman. At Knippelmeyer, we will save you money and make sure you get a good buy from a family-owned dealership that has treated customers like family for over 65 years. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
What's up, Ref Army? It's Dusty Dvorak, and I'm back. I'm excited to be back with the Ref and cannot wait to help bring the home of Sooner fans the best Sooner coverage. Catch me every Tuesday and Wednesday during the 10 a.m. hour of The Plank Show as I cut it up with Plank and Josh about everything in the world of Sooner and college football. That's every Tuesday and Wednesday on The Plank Show, and there's only one place to hear it, The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. Download the KRF app today to listen from anywhere.
For 3 generations, the John M. Ireland and Son Funeral Home and Chapel in Morris continued to serve the community by giving back to local schools, charitable organizations, and first responders.
We provide pre-planning for funerals and cremation services at the most reasonable prices.
We are proud to be a family-owned and operated funeral home.
Award-winning funeral home year after year, our family believes in serving the people of our community.
I'm John Ireland.
And I'm Solon Daniels.
You've got our word on it.
Tired of soaring insurance expenses or feeling uncertain about your coverage? At Right Way Insurance, every client receives a dedicated team of experts committed to addressing all your insurance worries. As an independent insurance company, they provide both personal and business coverage. Let them assist you in finding the optimal coverage for your specific needs. Contact Right Way Insurance at 405-607-6014 or at rightwayinsuranceok.com. That's Right Way Insurance, your trusted partner at 405-607-6014.
Looking for a better way to bank? Join OU Federal Credit Union and experience the difference. If you are tired of hidden fees and impersonal service at your big bank, well, you deserve better, and that's what you'll find at OU Federal Credit Union. They offer competitive rates on loans and savings accounts. Plus, they're a local member-owned institution. Join OU Federal Credit Union today and discover the benefits of being a part of a community that cares. Visit OUFCU.com or stop by the branches today. Member savings insured up to $250,000 by NCUA.
Whether you're celebrating a special occasion, desire a great postgame, or after-work dining experience, the Ranch Steakhouse is the winning choice. At Ranch Steakhouse, we're grilling up the best USDA prime steaks in Oklahoma. Juicy, flavorful, and cooked to perfection. Pair that with an unbeatable atmosphere, a killer drink selection, and a wine list of over 400 personally curated bottles. Whether you're toasting the game or winding down after a big day, Ranch Steakhouse is where champions eat.
I'm Gina Mitchell of Mitchell's Jewelry. Join us for our wedding band event this Thursday through Sunday. Alternative metals, gold bands, diamond bands, gemstone bands, over 1,000 bands in stock and on sale. These bands aren't just for weddings, it's the perfect anniversary or push gift. Guys, are you wearing a silicone ring meant for the lake or gym every day? You need something new too. This is the only time of the year we offer discounts on wedding bands, so don't miss out. Mitchell's Jewelry in the heart of Norman at 2201 West Main Street.
All right, we're back. Riverwind Casino. The plan is to be out there Friday if we can get out there. You know, the roads are still going to be icy. There is a little situation out there on 35, but that's the plan to be out there as we speak. We shall see. But I want to tell you, Riverwind is the best casino experience in the metro area, hands down. They've got all your favorite electronic games. They've got all the great table games you love as well. World-class poker room. They've got an Oasis gaming area that's smoke-free. They have a Skyloft gaming area upstairs. Off-track betting at Riverwind as well. Great bars and dining opportunities. You have the River Buffet, which is outstanding. Chips and Ales Pub Restaurant is big time as well. And great choices at the food court also. Promotions, oh, yeah, they've got them, and they're the best. Many opportunities to win cash and bonus play, prizes every month. Friday night, we'll have the 80K Cupid's Quest promotional drawing coming up again. That's all month of February. Friday night, get on out there and try and win your share of 80K in cash and bonus play. We have two shows at the Showplace Theater this weekend. Aaron Lewis and the Stateliners Friday night. Ryan Bingham and the Texas Gentlemen on Saturday night, later in the month. Grammy Award-winning legend Gladys Knight on a Friday night, February 28th. In March, 38 Special, Bonnie Raitt and Chicago. In April, we'll have America and Boys to Men. In May, Patti LaBelle, and they just announced a couple new shows this week. The Randy Rogers Band coming up Saturday, May 10th, and Scotty McCreery on a Friday night, May 16th. Those tickets went on sale the other day, so get those quickly while they last. Great shows always at Riverwind as well. Won't be long before we have Beats and Bites, the Outdoor Food and Music Festival, back coming up late spring through the summer. Riverwind Casino, good times, great rewards, always at Riverwind. Here's a question off the Twitter machine that was sent to me. Steely, if you had to name your 5 most important players for Oklahoma football next year, who would they be? John Mateer, number 1. I'm going to go with R. Mason Thomas, number 2. Stay healthy because he's got a chance to be one of the, first-team All-American kind of guy. Number 3, this one's kind of a weird one. I'm going to go with Taylor Tatum because I think that he has a chance to be a superstar back. But, hello, you've got to hang on to the football. Got to hang on to the football. When he hangs on to the football and gets a little bit of blocking, He's great. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. Maybe that's a little bit high. 4, Parker, I'm going to go with Robert Spears Jennings. You lose a leader in Billy Bowman. You know, he and Danny Stutzman, Ethan Downs all headed to the combine, and they were great leaders on that defensive team, obviously. After that, I don't know, maybe one of the young linebackers, or maybe somebody's got to take Danny's role as a leader, maybe Kip Lewis, Kobe McKenzie. What do you think, Parker? How would you answer that question?
I would definitely have John Mateer number 1. How could you not have John Mateer number 1? And then I would say, number 2 is probably Deion Burks to me, because that's the guy that you know when you've seen it. A healthy Deion Burks at the University of Oklahoma is quite the weapon. Now, we have high hopes for guys like Jaden Gibson, Giovanni Gibson, Elijah Thomas, and others in that wide receiver room, but we don't necessarily know what stardom looks like. We don't have that same expectation placed upon them as we do for Deion Burks, at least a healthy Deion Burks. So I would say Deion Burks at number 2. Number 3, this is going to be, I don't know, unpopular answer, maybe an unsexy answer. I'd have to go with your starting left tackle, and that, to me, right now is Jacob Sexton, because you got to make sure John Mateer's blind side is protected. You got to make sure he's got time to operate, because if you can't protect your quarterback, there's only so much you can expect from him. And so for me, it's not only John Mateer, it's John Mateer's number 1 receiver, and it's John Mateer's left tackle. Number 4 and number 5, if I flipped over to the defensive side of the ball, I would probably put Gentry Williams at number 4. I think it's imperative that he stays healthy and can give Oklahoma another lockdown corner opposite Eli Bowen. That'll enable them to just fret far less about defending SEC offenses, because the other half of the field that Eli Bowen wasn't on, that was a liability throughout the back half of SEC play for Oklahoma. And then number 5, man, I would probably go R. Mason Thomas there, just because he just enjoyed a breakout season. There's going to be greater expectations placed upon him. There's going to be greater responsibility placed upon him.
A lot of attention on him.
And he's got to live up to that.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. The defense should be really good. My only question is, you had some guys that were on that side of the football that were tremendous leaders in Danny, Ethan Downs, and Billy Bowman. You know, do you have guys like that? Hopefully they do. And we'll see who emerges. All right. By the way, Blake lets me know the poll is complete. The YouTube chats question today: if the SEC gets 4 automatic bids for the college football playoff, which they are, how likely is it that Oklahoma makes it in the next 2 seasons? And the winning percentage was 26 to 50%, 38%, 51 to 75 at 26, 0 to 25 at 22%, and 76 to 100 at 12%. So I think some Sooner fans are feeling pretty realistic there. You're not seeing complete rose-colored glasses. I think they kind of know the situation that Oklahoma's in. So, but, there's always that team, Parker, every college football season, right, that you think, yeah, maybe they got a chance to be good, but this has to happen and that has to happen. Well, maybe that all happens for Oklahoma. Maybe John Mateer is just as good against SEC competition as he was against the level of competition he played last year. I don't know if that's 44 total touchdowns, but you're hearing good reports, and maybe they stay healthy, because last year was the biggest debacle I've ever seen in terms of injuries for an Oklahoma football team on the offensive side of the ball. And, I'll tell you another guy who's kind of important, Parker, is Kendall Dolby. Can he come back and be what he was developing into at OU, which was a really stout, cheetah, outstanding football player? So we'll see how he comes back. Sometimes from an injury like that, you never know. That was one of the worst injuries of the year, too. They're all bad, but that one was just like, seriously? Are you kidding me?
Hey,
we'll see.
Gunny has an off-topic question for you on the timeline.
Okay.
What's the coldest sporting event you've ever attended?
Probably that OU A&M game, because I didn't go to the Ice Bowl. I was I'm trying to remember why I didn't go. I was back in studio. That's what it was. Most people would tell you it was the Ice Bowl. There were some cold Oklahoma-Nebraska games, too, back in the 70s. But would probably be the OU A&M game in Norman for me. How about you?
I'll tell you. I don't know if it was just because this was when I was 9 years old and maybe I had less tolerance for the cold at this point, but the coldest I have ever been at a sporting event, maybe the coldest I have ever been in my life, was in 2008 at the very first college football game I ever attended. It was a Nebraska-Kansas game at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, and it was bonkers cold that day. Nebraska won 45-35. That was back when both Nebraska and Kansas were actually good. That's got to be it for me.
All right. If you have a last-second text, 405-651-3439 on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line, 405-651-3439.
5A listener, good call. Bedlam 2022 was cold. That's probably the coldest OU game I've ever covered, that Bedlam game in 2022. And it was annoying because it was just a dry, windy cold. It was the worst kind of cold. Glenn from Nashville says, all right, I'll try to be objective here. Okay, we're getting a firecracker here.
Here we go.
I texted yesterday that Joe C., in my opinion, is not one of the top ADs in the business, but I'm willing to be convinced. Aside from hiring Bob Stoops, which Joe C. made a career out of, what else has he done to put him in the category of one of the best in the business? Please build a case for him. I'm listening.
Go ahead, Parker. You build the case.
Well, let's think about Patty Gasso precedes him, so you actually can't give
that
him
was
credit for the
that
Patty
was Donnie
Gasso hire.
Duncan, right? I think that was Donnie
Patty
Duncan.
Gasso, at this point, the longest tenured OU athletics employee. If she isn't, she's up there. Mike Houck has been there for upwards of 30 years, I think. He's probably in that conversation as well. Greg Tipton. Yeah, there actually are a lot of folks, now that I think about it, that have been there a long, long time, or at least a handful. But Patty Gasso precedes Joe C. But some of the other hires Joe C. has made, did Joe C. hire Kelvin Steely, or did Kelvin precede him as well?
I'm trying to think. Let's see, 90. Gosh, I'm trying to get my years straight. Let me see. Would that have been?
No, yeah, okay, 94. Kelvin
94.
did precede him. Yes.
So that would have been. Was
Steve
Donnie
Owens?
there? Steve Owens was there kind of on an interim basis for 1 year, right? So anyway.
So let's consider the hires that Joe C. has made in his time, and let's consider all sports, right? Ryan Hibble with the golf program. That's
Won
a nationally revered program. KJ Kindler with women's gymnastics. Mark Williams with men's gymnastics.
Jenny Baranchek.
Yeah, Jenny Baranchek was a fantastic hire for women's basketball, and that was the first hire he had to make for that sport because Sherry Cole preceded him as well. Lon Kruger, I think, was a fantastic hire for basketball. Look back at what Lon Kruger did at Oklahoma. Took him to the NCAA tournament in 7 of 9 years. That he obviously spent 10 total years at OU, but the 2020 tournament was canceled because of COVID. Lon Kruger was a great hire for basketball. Jeff Capel, not as much, but I think Lon Kruger kind of redeemed it. Baseball, obviously Pete Hughes was kind of a swing and a miss, but Skip Johnson has been excellent. Skip Johnson took him to the College World Series finals in 2022. So I think for OU fans and those across the country that tout Joe C. as one of the best in the business, they're not specifically looking at football, and I think it's easy to condense that conversation down to just football or maybe just football and basketball. But I think when you're mindful of the overall athletic program or athletic department that Oklahoma has built and the number of programs in which they're nationally competitive and playing for championships year in and year out, that's kind of what has helped Joe Castiglione elevate his status to one of the consensus best ADs in the country, is because of how many sports Oklahoma is really, really good at.
Yeah, and look, fans are upset. I get it. And am I 100% convinced that Joe's the guy to keep leading him for 10 more years? I'm not. Sometimes you're in a job too long, but I haven't lost faith in the guy. But if you're asking me, oh, yeah, 10 years is going to be perfect, what has happened? And fans are upset because the Sooners, who used to be the bully on the block in the Big 12, walked into a neighborhood and they've had their nose bloodied, right? In football and in basketball, but mainly football. That's where, I think people knew this was going to be different, a lot more challenging, but they didn't expect to have their nose bloodied this much. And hopefully that won't be the case in football coming in this fall. We'll find out. All right, thanks to Gary and Cavens, 405-573-3048. You have a flooding issue, broken pipe, busted pipe, call Cavens. We'll see you.